Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Bailey and I'm from the site Plagiarism Today, which can be found at plagiarismtoday.com, and we're back. Congratulations, welcome back everyone. Glad to be here. I know a few of you at least missed me. I got a couple emails and a couple tweets about where the videos were. I know that these don't get a lot of views, and that's okay. It's not really the goal. Like I said in the beginning, this is a series primarily for people who are following PT, following me personally. It's not really meant for the broader public, but hey, you're welcome to come along. I don't post them on the public YouTube, to keep them private. So definitely, if you are from the broader public, hey, that's okay. It's just, I wasn't necessarily trying to reach you. You're just, like, I guess you would say, in the crossfire. But, long story short, it has been a very trying 8 days or so. I'm not going to exaggerate. It's not been like the worst week ever or anything like that. It's just been kind of rough. It started on Tuesday when my MacBook Pro, the computer I do all of my work on, including these videos here, met an untimely and unfortunate death, and it was completely and totally my fault. I openly acknowledge that this was a mistake on my end. I'm a guy who's usually extremely careful about eating and drinking near his computer. I mean, it's kind of a necessity in my line of work. I spend so much time here, but I usually have like a 1.5 foot perimeter around my MacBook where I don't allow food and drink. In fact, I've got a cup of tea. It's way over here. In fact, I picked it straight up. You can't even see it in the shot. But long story short, food and drink are kept away. But on Tuesday night, I made the mistake of bringing in a cup of water and setting it directly in front of the MacBook, and then walking away to go do something else, and then forgetting it was there. Sat down in a hurry and went to reach for the keyboard and knocked a little bit of water out. And in fact, that was part of the problem. Is it was so little water. I actually didn't even realize the water got all the way back to the keys. I did not respond as you're supposed to. I didn't shut off the computer. I didn't, take it offline. Instead, I continued trying to work, and then realized that after the computer started acting funny, and by that point it was just way too late. Fried the internals of the computer pretty badly. It was a terrible, stupid mistake. Several errors were made in that. And there's no justification for it, really. So my MacBook was destroyed. Fortunately, though, I had a Best Buy black tie protection plan, so I took it in on Wednesday to get it looked at. They shipped it to Apple, and the determination was made that it was basically totaled, to use the auto insurance vernacular, and they provided me with a brand new MacBook Pro. So if I'm looking a little more widescreeny today, it's because the new Pro actually has a 720p camera in it. My old one did not. So whoopee-doo, more pixels for me. I'll probably do my tech talk on Friday on the new MacBook Pro. I'll talk more about it then, but really, not that much different. Not a lot going on here. In fact, you're probably seeing the only change. So yeah, that happened. I've got a new one now, and I've got to really quickly give a pair of shout-outs here to services that have saved my bacon here. First, I mentioned briefly the Best Buy Black Tie Protection Plan. I'm not a guy who buys extended warranties on things. I'm very, very careful. I'm glad I bought this one. And I bought it after an incident, and I believe in New Orleans TSA, as I was flying out of the city. One of the TSA agents was extremely careless with the bin my laptop was in, and it's like, oh dear God, this was like weeks after I bought it. I'm like, I've got to do something, because I'm traveling a lot. These TSA guys are out of control. I've got to protect myself. So that's exactly what I did there. And it ended up being me who was the idiot on that one. So that's one. The other thing I've got to give a shout out to is actually Backblaze, the backup system. I don't use Time Machine on my Mac because all the external hard drives I have that are big enough to do a Time Machine I'm using for other things. I need to purchase a new one, but it's been low on my priority list. So I acquired a Backblaze account about 5 weeks maybe, before the accident. All of my data backed up. It's actually downloading right now, all of my data. And those two services combined to turn what could have been, maybe should have been, a complete and total disaster into basically a nuisance. I did not lose any money. I did not lose any data. I'm doing pretty well overall, and I should be completely back on my feet in about a day as far as the data download goes. This video looks a little different because I don't have like the logo on this side, and the thing didn't look the same. That's the reason, is because I'm kind of working from a new file here. I don't have my old file. But yeah, Best Buy black tie protection, I got no trouble, no problems, no cost, no headache at all in returning this and getting the new one. They were great about it every step of the way. Never seen anyone smile as they're forking over a free $1,000 plus computer, but that's exactly what they did. All in all, great service there, and Backblaze, a huge assistance. They kept my data safe and made sure that no matter what happened to the original computer, everything that I had worked on is safe. Now, the other thing there is, fortunately, 95% of what I do is already in the cloud, Google Docs, etc., etc., etc. So I didn't really have that much data on my computer, but still, about 100 gigabytes of files, worth saving. Most of it audio and video files like these that I'm trying to hang on to for various purposes, and also, of course, the podcast recordings. But however, that wasn't the end of my rough week. If you've noticed, this on Sunday, over the weekend, it was early Sunday morning, I think it was, I suffered a very nasty fall while running. Or was it Sunday night? I'm trying to remember. But I suffered a very nasty fall while running. Twisted this wrist. This hand is actually very badly scraped. I'm not going to show it to you because even though it's been several days, it still looks pretty bad. But long story short, banged up both of my hands pretty bad, so typing has been very difficult this week. Fortunately, this wrist is doing a lot better. My left hand is doing a lot better. My right hand is still a bit tough to type with, but it's healing nicely. So it was really great to wake up Monday morning with no main computer and half a good working hand for typing. So it's been a pretty trying beginning of this week. But things are picking up, things are looking up, I'm getting back in the game. And hopefully I should be, like I said, back up to normal in a couple of days. In the meantime, though, if you're a client of mine, please give me a little leeway here. I'm asking nicely because it's been, like I said, a very difficult week. But fortunately, preparation was key here. I have been in very good shape overall, and we should be ready, like I said, back at full strength at the latest, first thing next week, provided I'm able to stay healthy and keep this computer in good shape. So thank you very much for your patience. We'll be back with your regularly scheduled video series tomorrow. In the meantime, though, this is Jonathan Bailey, signing off.